welcome back to our channel. I'm Tasleem.
And I'm Tira. This is T&T Cooking, a beginner's guide to Indian and Pakistani cuisine.
Today we're making a dish called Malai Kofta.
So kofta means meatballs, but I don't know what malai is.
Malai is cream. Basically, Malai Kofta is vegetarian meatballs.
Awesome! I've never made those before.
Yes, let's do it. So first we're going to start off by making the koftas. For that I have here 1.5 cup of paneer that I just put in the food presser and just kind of crushed it a little.
Okay. Scoop all that in. And paneer, for those that don't know, is a form of cheese.
Correct. And this is about a cup of boiled potato that I mashed.
Okay. Kind of a chunky mash, it looks like.
Yes. Now we are going to season the koftas. To that we have a teaspoon of minced garlic, teaspoon of minced ginger, teaspoon of fenugreek leaves, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of red chili powder, teaspoon of cumin powder, and a teaspoon of coriander powder. That all goes in there.
Okay.
We're gonna mix that all up, mush it together. If you see any potato chunks, just break them up a little.
And Tasleem was just telling me if you're comfortable doing this with your hands, sometimes that works quicker and easier.
We are gonna use our hands to form the koftas.
Okay.
Okay, so here I have about a tablespoon of cornstarch. What we're going to do is after we form the koftas, we're going to just kind of roll them in the cornstarch and before we fry them.
Okay.
Just for a little crispiness. And then, let's see, I'm not sure, do we need some binding agent? Depend on your paneer and your potatoes. So let's start forming the balls.
Okay.
The koftas.
Yeah, about how big? Like a tablespoon's worth or more?
A tablespoon.
Okay.
So you're just going to roll them into this is about a tablespoon of koftas. So we will just add a little bit of all-purpose flour to make sure it binds. Mix it.
Yeah, we're just going to use our hands because they're already in here. And it's okay to play with it. Everyone's living at different altitudes and humidity levels.
Yes, depends on where you live. We have a lot of humidity.
We do up here.
And then we're going to kind of lightly coat them in the cornstarch. Okay, so I added some oil into a pan. We are going to deep fry these koftas until they're golden brown.
So your oil measurement may vary, but about how deep do you think this is, Tasleem, in your pan?
About 1/2 inch.
About a 1/2 inch of oil in your pan.
Alright, so we are going to fry these.
Okay.
We're going to individually place them in the oil.
And Tasleem was telling me to be really gentle with these.
Yes, because they can crumble really fast.
I don't know what I want to do with my hands.
You have to use your hands.
Oh yeah? Okay.
Yeah. Just put them in
Here we
gently.
go.
Careful. Or you can use a spoon.
Learning how to do it the authentic Indian way.
Yeah.
In my house, I might use tongs.
You could if you want to.
Let's see. Okay, so we're making sure they're not touching.
Yeah, be careful when you play with them or turn them. They can crumble easily.
These are really fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is the color we're looking for as we're flipping them.
Golden brown, yes.
And I think the cornstarch makes them extra crispy.
Correct. And it also helps to not fall apart.
Bind them together, make them stick together.
Yeah. Okay, they're golden brown, so we are going to start taking them out.
Mm-hmm.
And they smell so good.
They do smell good. These took a little longer to fry than I had anticipated.
Yeah.
But not crazy long.
So I made this the other day in my house, and my son loved these. He was eating the koftas alone, just as chips or something. He was like, these are so good, Mom. Can I eat one more?
Okay.
Okay, so now this is the second process of this dish. We have a pan that's heating, and we're going to add some oil to that. This is the part that we're going to make the gravy. So I have 1/3 cup oil.
All right.
So the oil is warm. To that here, we're adding a teaspoon of cumin seeds, a couple of bay leaves, and a small stick of cinnamon.
All right.
Okay, to that we're adding 1 onion that I sliced. This is a large onion.
So not diced, but sliced.
Right.
Trying to let it all touch the oil. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Tell me if I'm doing it wrong.
We're doing fine. You're doing fine. We're gonna cook this like we cook any other dish.
Okay.
Cooking the onions.
Even though the onions are a different shape.
Yeah, the onions are different shape is because once we're done with this process, we are gonna put this through a blender and blend this into a smooth paste.
Oh, Cool.
for the gravy or a sauce. Okay, we're just gonna let that saute for a few minutes. Okay, we're gonna add some spices now. This is a tablespoon of minced ginger, a tablespoon of minced garlic, and some salt. To that, we're adding 2 chopped Roma tomatoes.
Okay.
Now we're gonna add 1 chopped serrano pepper.
Okay, and it looks like the seeds are in.
Yes. Okay. Here now we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of cashews.
And these look pretty whole. They're not crushed at all.
Correct. Now since we are gonna blend all this, we need a little bit of soupiness, so we're gonna add a little bit of water. It's about 1/2 cup of water.
Okay.
Okay. I think we need more water. It's another 1/2 cup of water.
Okay. That'll probably soften up those cashews a bit too, huh?
Yes. And then in about 2 or 3 minutes, when it starts bubbling, we are gonna put this through a blender. We're gonna cool this mixture now, and we're gonna put it through a food blender and make it into a paste.
But first, we're going to remove what?
Oh, correct. We have to remove the bay leaf and the cinnamon stick. That will not be blended well.
So we're gonna fish those out.
Correct.
Alright.
You close this. You kind of hold on to the lid.
Let me try.
Are you sure?
I'm gonna hold
You
it
think you
down.
get it? Yeah. Oh, so much better. Look at that.
Yeah. So if you don't have one of these blenders, what do you recommend?
NutriBullet, whatever you have, it could work. Yeah, there are other powerful blenders out there. Or just use any blender you have. It doesn't have, if yours is not a smooth, fine paste, it's okay.
I might attempt an immersion blender, but it'll just take more
Yes.
time.
Okay, there you go. It all works.
Mm-hmm.
What we're gonna do is in the same pot, we're gonna add some butter. This is 3 tablespoons of butter.
Alright. We're just gonna melt it down.
Yes, and add some more spices. This is for the more spices for the gravy. I have a tablespoon and a teaspoon of coriander powder, tablespoon of cumin powder, teaspoon of turmeric, and a tablespoon of Kashmiri lal mirch. We're gonna add that in while the butter is melting, so it doesn't burn. Yeah, we're gonna just stir that in with the butter and kind of toast it before we add the gravy in.
So I have kind of a funny story. My husband Caleb goes on work trips sometimes, and they recently stopped by Chick-fil-A for a dinner on the way back, driving,
Yeah.
and he said it's kind of disappointing Chick-fil-A's gotten more bland. And I had to laugh because I don't think it's gotten more bland. I think we've been cooking Indian food at our house for like a year and it's changing his taste buds.
Yes, his taste buds have become more flavorful. Now we're gonna dump in the sauce.
Okay.
We're gonna mix all that in.
Okay.
And the sauce, the color is changing.
Mm-hmm. They're working their way in. They're working their way in.
Yeah. And look how smooth the
Yeah.
gravy is.
I'm impressed. Oh, you were saying something about the cashews.
Oh yes, so if you don't have a powerful blender like I do, instead of using cashews, you can use cashew powder. Add about 3 to 4 tablespoons of cashew powders if you don't have a blender that blends cashew.
Yep. Use what things you have. You don't really need to go out and buy special things in most cases to make
Yes.
most of these dishes.
This is a teaspoon of salt and a teaspoon of sugar.
Oh, okay. Sugar in this one.
Yes, just to kind of balance out the flavor of the tomatoes.
Okay.
And this is a tablespoon of fenugreek leaves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it looks so creamy, and we didn't use any cream in here, guys. That's all the cashews, right?
Yeah, actually we will use cream. Speaking of cream, good thing. This is 3 tablespoons of heavy cream.
Okay.
So did I tell you Malai means cream?
Oh, okay.
That's why it's called Malai Kofta. So the cream is heavy cream, butter, all that's considered cream.
Mm-hmm.
That's why this dish is very creamy. We can gently add in the koftas. Now we're gonna add them in very gently and we're not gonna really stir because they can break. We're gonna actually turn off the stove. We can just turn it off. And we're gonna add this in one by one.
Okay.
And you can just pour the liquid on top.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Cook them. And you were saying that if you didn't want them to look, they looked a little dusty, you could knock off some cornstarch a little bit before you fried them.
Right. Okay, we're done, Tira.
That's it?
Yes, we have just made Malai Kofta. I know when you say Malai Kofta, it sounds complicated and hard, but it's really not. Okay, and now we are gonna eat this.
Awesome.
The best part of cooking is
eating.
Yes! So let's try this. I'm so excited.
And look at how beautiful they are.
And the color and the sauce. It's a vegetarian kofta. So if you're a vegetarian, you feel like having koftas, make this. So Tira, when growing up, we don't really go out to eat at Indian restaurants because we cook that food at home.
Right.
So if we do ever go out to eat, I used to always order Malai Kofta because I never really made it at home.
Yeah.
And then recently I started making it.
Cool.
And they're not hard to make at all. I try to come up with an easy recipe for you guys. Okay, let's try it. And the koftas are very tender. Look how nicely they break.
But most of them stay together while cooking too.
Yes.
Which is what you want.
Very flavorful. It's not sweet.
It's not sweet and it's not spicy, but it's very flavorful. There's a lot of flavors coming through. I don't think I would have to change any of the heat to this for my family.
Yeah.
Because of the cream balances out some things in there.
Cashews. And if you want to make it spicier, just add more chili powder and serrano pepper.
Yep.
But if you don't want it spicy, this is actually perfect.
Yeah, this is really good.
And it's very creamy. That's why it's called Malai. Okay, so we're gonna keep eating and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.